Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. This is our news segment here on our YouTube channel called On the Wall. And what we're doing with this is we are going to be talking with people. Uh, some of them you'll know, some of them you don't. And we're going to be dealing with all the things that are going on around us right now, both from a look at what's affecting our economy and our lifestyle and all that, but also spiritually, which is the foundation of our program on the wall, meaning it's for watchmen on the wall, trying to guide you in your walk as we move forward. Today, I'm excited. We have some really tough stuff to talk about, and I have a really tough guy that's going to be talking with us, my dear friend, brother in Christ, Chance from Simply Clean Foods. And Chance and I go back to like 10 years to when we started Hear the Watchman. And he's been down the whole journey, and he will be out at our conference in Springfield, Missouri, August 22nd through the 24th. We encourage you to get out there. And if you just go to hearthewatchman.com, you can see everything that's going on out there. The whole conference is dedicated in the memory of Dr. Tom Horn, who was crucial in my walk with Hear the Watchman and his family. Joe Horn will be speaking, Nita Horn will be speaking, Derek Gilbert, Sharon Gilbert, Pastor Paul Begley, Heidi Begley, Vicky Joy Anderson, Tracy Tennant, uh, Zev Parat, Messianic Rabbi Zev Parat, all the way from Israel, Carl Gallups. The list goes on and on. So just check it out, hearthewatchman.com. So without further ado, Chance, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, my friend. Hello. You know, one thing that I carry with me are the memories of the Hear the Watchman conferences over the years, Dallas all the way to Idaho, and the difference that it makes in the attendees when you listen to their testimonies, and then after the fact, how it's changed their lives. Maybe it was a speaker, maybe it was a message, and a lot of times it's about the fellowship, right? Um, and the look, brother, the look on the faces of those that have been baptized in the water for the first time, or maybe reaffirming their faith. It's a very special event. I've done conferences for many years, but there's nothing like Hear the Watchman. Um, you know, it's tools. I can't remember who said this. It was one of the pastors. You're able to take away from the conference more tools to put in your toolbox to help you deal with what's happening in your world, as well as the attacks that come upon every single Christian in their daily lives. And it's truly a blessing for me, my wife, and our business as well. And so I'm very excited for August 22nd through the 24th. We're going to be there. We're going to really, uh, hopefully, change some lives there at the conference and make some friends that are probably going to last a lifetime. So, be great to see you and Jeannie there as well, and some old faces and maybe some new friends. That being said, uh, I'd like to talk about what's happening in Los Angeles right now. We need to have an understanding of what's happening there so that we can have an understanding of what can happen in our own communities. What you're seeing, and without getting too political here, what you're seeing is the media is saying one thing, these are peaceful protests, and video saying another thing. Okay. This is not the first time that we've seen this. Okay. Peaceful protests in the past, they're burning down the cities, right? Did you know four police officers have been injured in these LA riots? President had to nationalize the National Guard to go in there and control the violence. and they're still throwing bricks at the police. They're burning down cars in the middle of the street, all for what? To protect the rights of illegal aliens, making ICE the bad guy here. Okay. For me, brother, I'll get your opinion on this, but for me, this is simple. We have rights too. You come into our country illegally, you don't go through the system. You come into our country illegally, and then you say you have a right to be here. I'm sorry. My ancestors, I'm Italian, my ancestors came through Ellis Island. They did it the right way. On top of that, we just found out through the efforts of Doge that our taxpayer dollars are going to support illegal aliens, sending them Social Security funds, sending them food vouchers, paying for cell phone. I'm sorry, but I'm a veteran, and I can tell you, I have a lot of veterans that we work with on a regular basis. They don't have these luxuries. Okay, they're not put up in hotel rooms. They're struggling month to month, and it makes me upset.
Well, Chance, let's just really dive into this. The whole thing was really started because ICE was going to do one of its things in a raid and all that stuff, which I believe is great. Now, look, there's a lot of controversy over our policy right now with immigration because we had to do something to to stave the wave that was created by Joe Biden, the Democrats, the liberals, Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, and all of the politicians. It had to happen. And now we have the Marines going in there. Now, I will tell you, I was quite frankly, I follow this stuff about ICE and immigration. And, sometimes I think like, gosh, I feel bad about it because I mean, the media, mainstream media will put somebody up there, some mom that was, trying to go to school and all that stuff and was illegal, and they rip her out and everybody else out and send them home. Well, I'm sorry, you didn't do it the right way. I don't do something the right way, I get arrested. Been there, done that, but here's the problem that as I see it, is that you were correct. The mainstream media spins this in a way to make it look like Trump is the bad guy and ICE is the bad guy. And we should just let the borders be open and let these people come in and take our jobs and for hardworking, tax-paying Americans away. Now, I will admit, when I had to, which I resisted till the very last day, go get one of these real IDs, the Star ID. I was really hoping I could just use my Costco card. But, the thing of it that irritated me was I go down there to get it and I have to take down. I had to take my Social Security benefit statement, a copy of that. I had to take a copy of my bank statement. I had to take two utility bills. And when I was there, they're like, "Well, don't you have a mortgage payment?" I'm like, "No." And, so it was like, it was I, as a citizen of the United States who have been here since birth, had to go through this, like all these things to get this real ID. And it pissed me off. I'll be real honest. And people are like, "Why don't you have a passport?" Whole other story on that one that maybe we'll talk about someday. But the issue is, once I started to think about it, I realized that, look, I mean, we're in dire straits here in this country with immigration. And so if I have to do my part to pull together a bunch of paperwork, you know, and they're really very funny because, like, we live in a rural community. So we don't really use the postal service. We have like a mailbox in town, and they're like, "Well, you don't. That's not going to work. You have to have a physical address." So it was a major effort, but I'm willing to do that to stop the insanity of what Joe Biden and the liberal agenda is shoved down our throat for let's face it, it wasn't just 4 years, 8 years, whatever it was a long time, you know, starting all the way back with Obama and in his deal. We need to wake up to what's happening. Now, Chance, what is our, in your opinion, as a veteran, as a businessman who's running his own business, what do you see as our solution moving out of this?
Well, let's go back to one of the reasons why these the agenda in the Biden administration was what it was, and that's because they were trying to change the electoral college vote in these swing states so that the liberals would have more control, more electoral votes in these areas. Well, it didn't work out well, did it? Because the best candidate won, and that was Donald Trump. Because he did have an agenda for this country to get us back on the right path. Now, where are we at right now? Well, we've got areas like Los Angeles, like Denver, Colorado. Oh, that's just as bad. Like Portland, Oregon. Areas on the East Coast, like Maine, for example, and many of these sanctuary states. One thing, if you want to get someone's attention, where do we go from here? Is the pocketbook. Okay, so you want to be a sanctuary state, you want to not follow federal law, then how about you not get any federal funds, right? I'm not going to pick on any specific governor that is in California right now, but I'll tell you that that state, which I spent many years in, and so did you. You were born or you were raised there, right? That state is a cesspool now. The areas that you and I enjoyed, we were just talking about this before the show. I remember San Francisco being a great place to go to, and you were safe. We go down to the wharf, remember? Beautiful, beautiful city. San Diego, which you and I also spent some time there together, as a matter of fact, the tourism is down 75%. Why? Because there's homeless encampments down on the bayfront, and they have allowed this to happen where the street there's feces on the street. People are urinating where they stand. They are not doing anything about it. Where there might be a few agencies out there that are trying to help, but the mismanagement of funds, donations that have gone into California to help in this situation, who knows where that money went, right? It's not going towards the homeless to help them get a foot up, to help them get some training, to get them off the street, to get them healthy, right? It's not going there. So look, you want to make your own rules, then your federal funding gets cut. That's how you're going to make change because they can't, California, New York, Colorado, they can't afford for that federal funding to be cut. They can't afford it. And they will start, just like Mexico did, right? They will start being more proactive and following the law that's set forth. It is unconstitutional to come into our country illegally. Period. End of story. It is against the law. Now, I've been following these riots pretty close the past couple of days. We're seeing demonstrators, protesters out there being very violent, arsonists, throwing Molotov cocktails at the police, damaging government property. Uh, you know what? That's another crime. They need to arrest these people and they need to be deported. And if you are causing violence towards, a citizen of this country, you need to go to jail. I'm sorry. It's the only way they're going to learn. But we're not going to make any gains. We're not going to be able to turn this around until the people stand up because this didn't start with the people. This started with an agenda. When we go back to the Electoral College, right? The people need to say to their electors, to their congressmen, to their senators, enough. If you want to do another 4 years in Congress or in the Senate, you better get to work and get this cleaned up. If not, bye bye. You're out of here. We'll bring in someone that can. That's the only way. If we need to take action, it's the only way we're going to get change. To answer your question in a very long form,
Well, you know, let's face it. In the now etched in stone words of a friend of mine by the name of Steve Quayle, there is no political solution for a spiritual problem. And I personally believe that's one of the big problems. And I think that the enemy uses that to try and trick us all into this stuff about immigration. Where do you think God stands with all this?
the Word of God states that we are, as Christians, as believers, supposed to follow the local laws of our country. For me, my laws are called the Ten Commandments. When I was in the military, we were told very specifically, you must follow orders as long as they are constitutional orders, right? So we need to follow the rule of law. We need to be proactive in local government. We need to be a part of the solution. What we don't need to do is to stand by and let the criminal factions, whether that's cartel or terrorist cells in our country, take us apart from the inside. Your ancestors, my ancestors, many of them served our country and died for our country. Their sacrifice has to mean something, brother. It has to mean something. So it starts in your own home, it starts in your community, then the county, the state, and then at the federal level. Don't just sit on your laurels and allow these things to happen. Yes, as a believer and a pastor, I'm going to pray for our country. I'm going to pray for our elected officials. I'm going to pray that within a short amount of time, and it needs to be in a very short amount of time, we're going to be able to turn this around and get back on track as a country.
Well, we're gonna segue into something, you guys, that's really very important for you to see. But before we do, one of the problems that we have as conservatives, especially Christian conservatives, is apathy because we tend to just, oh, I want all these other people to do it. Well, you are one of those people. You need to get out and get involved. But let me try and share my screen here and show you something. I lost you, Chance. You're on another.
I'm still here, brother. Go right ahead.
So bear with me while I do this. Okay, can you see that screen, Chance?
Yes, sir. I see
Okay,
it.
give me just a second.
I'm using a
The
second camera so that I
organization,
can share a video with you guys here
the
in just a little bit.
organization that, do you see my screen up on
I
no,
do.
no
Yes,
King?
sir.
Okay. So you guys, my wife exposed me to this this morning, and my wife goes down the rabbit hole quite often. And I'm like, okay, what do you have? And I saw this, and it made me, I've been accused of being a little blunt. And I'm telling you, it made me want to vomit, when I read this. It was sickening. And if you look at this, on the face, in America, we don't do kings. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. But then you read down on the bottom, they defied our courts, deported Americans, disappeared people off the streets, attacked our civil rights, and slashed our services. The corruption has gone too far. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. This is an assault on all of our fundamental beliefs as conservatives in the country. It's all about a group that's gotten together and they are trying to attack Trump and attack what we're saying in this interview. But I want you to look at something that I find very interesting. That, you guys, is organization. Look at all the cells that have come up. Now, if you just put in your zip code in here, let's just put in a liberal, well, let's just put in mine, which is not liberal. Will it show up? Oops. Oh, look at that. Right in my little town. And so, where is this? You know, they say at the Bear Fountain. The Bear Fountain's right by Veterans Park. Now, I don't know what idiot would show up at this thing, but I'll be there to see who they are. And the problem is, these guys are organized. They are doing what we should be doing, but we're not doing it. You know, I mean, I can't tell you how hard it is to get Christians to show up at a conference. It's hard. And I'll tell you this right now, if I had Jesus Christ himself speaking there, which I'd do if I could, it'd still be hard. But if I have some liberal agenda to it, the place would fill up in a week because of apathy. You know, what do you read into this movement, nokings.org?
Well, I find it like yourself, I find it quite offensive that they're willing to bring these events into towns and cities all across our country. But at the same time, you have to say, wow, this is pretty organized. And then the question is, who's funding this?
Yeah.
Where does all this money come from to send people all over the country to cause fear, hate, and discontent, right? Where's this money coming from? Who's funding this? That's follow the money, right? Follow the money. Yeah, no, this is disturbing. Now, I can't imagine over there at the Bear Fountain in Salmon how well these people are going to be received,
Yeah.
right? Because like my town here in Texas, I got to tell you, this is a very conservative area. And you want to protest in peace, that's your right. That's your First Amendment right. But you get out of control, these good old boys down here, they're going to take control of the situation and you're going to be ran out of town. That's just the way it is, right? So I I try to every once in a while, just so that I have talking points, I'll watch CNN, I'll watch MSN or MSNBC, all of these liberal agendas, and I'm trying to understand what's the positive message here? What are you trying to do to better our country? There is none. There's nothing. All we get are spins and lies, taking a situation and twisting it, right? I heard the other day these ICE, uh, the employees of ICE, the federal workers for ICE, why are they covering their face? They're covering their face because you threaten their family, right? Hello. What's ICE's job? To follow the law. If you're in this country illegally, it's time to go. Look how many violent criminals are still in this country that came over the southern border. Now we've got the southern border locked down. They're going up to Canada, right, Mike? They're going over to Canada and they're coming right through Canada, bringing fentanyl, bringing uh, terrorists over, Chinese nationals over into our country. What's their agenda? I don't see anything positive here. Do you?
No, and I think you're right about the funding. I'm sure the funding comes from Soros and the Rockefellers and all that, you know, the typical financial sources. I can't believe, or I don't believe, that the people that are showing up around the country that have organized this aren't paid agitators. I think they are. But anyway, you guys go to nokings.org and see what's happening in your own backyard, and then get up off the couch and get out there and make sure that your city's protected. We're going to try and kind of say goodbye today with something really interesting that you need to look at and think about, and that is simplycleanfoods.org, a huge sponsor of Here the Watchman. And Chance, what do you have to say about what's going on at Simply Clean Foods?
Well, Simply Clean Foods, we're adding to our products every day. Most of your listeners are customers, and they're pretty aware of what we're trying to do. We're trying to get clean food into the hands of people so that they have a choice of what they put into their temple, into their body, and that's important. Today, however, I want to show the listening audience some images of our new company, which is called naturedrivenenergy.com. Real briefly, these are generators, and the Lord put this on our heart about 6 months ago. These are generators that you can use in the home. So, not gasoline or diesel generators, but generators that burn no fuel and are whisper quiet. Why is that important? If you have a gasoline generator running outside, you're basically advertising to the entire community, hey, they have power, right? That's probably not what you want to do. What you want to do is to have some type of generator available when the power does go out. Your freezer is full of hard-earned investments, money. People, you keep your freezers full. You could have $4,000 or $5,000 worth of food in there. You have to protect that, because I don't know about you, Mike, but I can't eat, a freezer full of meat in 2 days. It's impossible to do. So these generators are pretty powerful, uh, up to 20,000 watts of power. They can operate even from plugging them into your vehicle to charge them up, or solar panels or wind turbines. Um, what I love about them is they're so clean, and they're made right here in America. I think this is the only solar generators that are made here in the United States. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video of one of my favorite generators. It's on wheels. And it's a good thing it's on wheels, because it's about 100 pounds. But what's nice is these big wheels, you're allowed to move this around your property or from room to room, or maybe even help someone that's in need down the road that might be on a CPAP machine or oxygen generator machine. You're able to share that power. This generator I'm about to show you is so affordable. It's under $1,000, and it's 3,600 watts of power. And that's not peak, that's running watts of power. So let me go ahead and switch cameras, and I'll go ahead and play this for you guys. If you have any questions, Mike, afterwards, just please let me know. And I will say, you guys can give me a call at 737 400 2066. We have some promotions running, as well as I've got some great deals on some generators that have minor scratches on them and shipping. Huge savings on those as well. So here we go. Switch cameras. All right.
These knives sell out faster than tickets to a G. Brooks comeback tour, so I almost made the dumbest mistake of my life.
With the same form factor as our original generator, the Nature's Generator Elite packs a serious punch. We'll go over outputs, charging, capacity, inverter, and other features. Let's get into it. Up front, you have your standard 120 volt AC outlet ports, two USB-A ports, and a 12 volt DC outlet. You'll also notice an AC outlet switch. This turns on or off the AC outlets and 30 amp outlet on the back of the generator. As we just mentioned, the Elite includes a 30 amp outlet on the back of the generator. It also includes an expansion port, perfect for when you want to expand your system with a PowerPod Elite. The Elite can be charged three ways: using our solar panels, our wind turbine, Or if you're in a pinch, you can plug it into your wall outlet for a quick top-up. The backlit LCD provides all of the information you'll need, such as battery life, output wattage, charging input type, and other useful information. Our original generator has a 720 watt-hour battery capacity with an 1800 watt inverter. The Elite increases battery capacity to 1200 watt hours with a respectable 3600 watt inverter, all in the same form factor. Now that's impressive. To keep things moving, the Elite also includes a built-in hand cart. This makes wheeling it around a breeze. The Elite is our answer to making an already great product even better. With its increased battery capacity and more robust inverter, the Nature's Generator Elite is a product you can depend on.
All right, let me go ahead and switch cameras back here. Do you have any questions about the generators,
Yeah,
Mike?
let me ask you this, Chance. Let's say you have a refrigerator and a standalone freezer, like all of us do where I live. Would that run both of those at the same time?
Yes, it will run a standard chest freezer, a full-size refrigerator, and lighting, which is important. If your power goes out in the middle of the night, you need to be able to see, right? So it can run all of that for up to 3 days on one charge. So that's a pretty big battery in there. And we have systems also, Mike, that you can connect right to your box, your breaker box, and power the entire house. So from everything from that all the way up. Yes, sir.
And how often do you, like when you have it just in your house, there's no power outage or anything like that, how often do you have to charge it?
So you don't have to worry about it. You keep it plugged into an outlet. The system has safety features. It will not overcharge, meaning once you get to 100%, it will just maintain, they call that a trickle charge. They'll just maintain that 100% on a regular basis. So it's always ready to go. You don't have to charge it. Now, if you take it outside of your home to maybe use on the property, it's powerful enough to even uh, as a booster for.
Hmm. Unfortunately, guys, we lost Chance right there. Let's,
Charger to
there you
charge
go.
up two
You're back.
batteries at one time.
Yeah. So, well, listen, Chance, tell me, and guys, I want to let you both know, Chance and I did not talk to each other first and wear the same shirt today. Just happened. Uh, Chance, how do people get you again? How can they find out about Simply Clean Foods and your new company?
Yeah. First, let me give you guys our phone number. It's 737-400-2066. 737-400-2066. If you'd like to go to simplycleanfoods.com, simplycleanfoods.com, you can check out all of our products. We now have over 80 products available. We're also on Amazon.com. If you want your order very quickly, we can get that. Amazon can get that out to you in a couple of days. For nature-driven energy, that's naturedrivenenergy.com. You can look at all the different generators online. But I would say you probably want to call us. Don't order online. Just give us a call because I'm running some huge promotions. And as well as we have the scratch and dents available at huge discounts as well. So, yeah, thank you, Mike, for mentioning that. And we just love working within our community and to get you guys safe, keep your pantry full, and offer some useful advice on preparing as well.
Well, again, thank you, Chance, for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you out at the conference in Springfield, August 22nd through the 24th. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up today for this episode of On the Wall. I hope you found it helpful. And I'd love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button. You can just, also have notifications so you know when I upload something new. But please join us in our effort to take back America and to have our voices be heard. God bless each and every one of you. We will see you hopefully in Springfield, Ohio. But until the next episode, please pray and be well. God bless.